Well, today we're going to talk about the Colt competition. Unloaded. So I got this pistol February of 2022, and it's a fine gun. It's something that I was saving for a special occasion, and today was that special occasion. So I went out and I shot it finally after it sat for the longest time. So my previous experience was only with Series 80 Colts, and this is Series 70, so it's got a better trigger, and I definitely can feel that. That's right off the bat. One of the things that I didn't particularly like was the slide serrations here are legitimately sharp. And I don't know if I can make this out on camera, you can kind of see there, that's from the slide moving back and forth. Now granted, you can move your thumb out of the way like this or something. I'm one of these people, the way I hold the 1911, I like to actually rest my thumb on the safety and then bring my other thumb up here. So both my thumbs are actually touching the slide as it cycles back and forth. So it's not the end of the world, but after, I think I've shot about 300 rounds out of this today, and after 300 rounds, my thumb legitimately started getting eaten up. And there's actually little, I don't know if you can see that, little skin particles where basically that thing acted as a razor. Not the end of the world, and something that you could fix in the sense of, some kind of dehorning operation on that, and then some rebluing. So, the safety isn't very, I don't know, it's kind of tacky, and I don't like that. It's weird, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, this is like, I think around 900 to 1,000 MSRP, and I think it's kind of made as an entry model for Colt. But I gotta say, overall though, I did really like this gun. Some other things that I found kind of interesting was the Novak sights. They're the adjustable kind, and I found them fine if I was staring at the front sight to aim, but sometimes I will stare at the target, and I know everyone says you're not supposed to do that, but I mean, some professionals do actually do that, and I think there's some advantages to that personally. But the one thing I don't like about this, if I'm staring at the target with these adjustable sights, the normal Novak sight doesn't really have like a transfer of lines, so to speak, because you've got like this part here which forms an edge, and then you've got the actual sight that moves up and down, and so those aren't going to line up. So if I'm staring at the target and it's somewhat far away, my eyes, that's pretty far of a sight plane for my eyes to see, and I get kind of a little bit of a what's the actual top of the sight, and my mind is kind of fighting, is it this part or is it this part? I didn't really, like I said, didn't really notice it being an issue with the front sight. As far as, it's got the double recoil spring, and basically the idea is you have a softer recoil. Is that different than a single spring? I don't really know. I'm not sure. I felt like there was maybe some slight difference, but not anything super significant. And it might be a placebo thing. Like, I wonder if someone told me, hey, here's one gun with the single recoil spring and here's another gun with a double. I'd be interesting to see if I could tell the difference, kind of a Pepsi challenge deal. So yeah, I felt like though there was a slightly reduced recoil. One thing I noticed about this gun got really dirty. So um, I've got this other 1911 or unloaded, and it's a Colt 1991 A1, and firing the same ammo out of this, I really didn't notice. I really haven't noticed that excessive amount of dirt getting on this, or gunpowder residue. And one of the things that makes me think, well, why is that? I wonder if with the double recoil spring, and I could be way off on this, I wonder with the double recoil spring, if there's some kind of like delayed impulse, and just the nature of that allows for more dirt or gunpowder residue to blow back for some weird reason. I have no idea. That's my best guess right now. But it did seem to get a little bit more dirty than this one does. And then this is the first time I ever had a pistol with a fiber optic front sight. And what I just talked about, I have a buddy who's got a Wilson Combat real quick, and I don't really notice that what I'm about to talk about with his, or at least when we were shooting, I didn't really hear him say this because I only fired it a couple times, and I wasn't really looking for this. But basically with enough rounds, probably like 50, I mean, the front sight there gets pretty well covered with gunpowder residue, so all that advantage where you've got light hitting the fiber optic, it kind of goes away. And sure, you got a Q-tip or whatever, you can take that and wipe it off, or just a shop cloth or something. It's easy to do that. Not the end of the world, but I don't know. I'm not sure that I'll stick with fiber optic sights, although I have been told as you get older and your eyes start deteriorating more and more, fiber optic sights are kind of the way to go. I think that's kind of the main points I wanted to hit on. Like I said, I've kind of done about, I want to say around 300 rounds out of this, and I can't think of anything that's anything else that I really noticed. I will say it's got a nice trigger, nothing wrong with that, and overall I definitely think this is a good gun. Like, for the price point that you're paying, I feel like it's a real solid gun. I'm glad I bought it. That being said, I do plan to 100% keep it, but also swap out some parts, or probably like Wilson Combat parts. So, and this is me shooting at about, I'm gonna guess like maybe 60 feet. So, and this grouping right here, these groups that have kind of are over here to the side, I can definitely attribute that to me jerking a little bit and moving around my finger on the trigger. And once I got that dialed in, I was able to pretty easily hit on target. So definitely a solid gun. I'm sure a better marksman could do this even better. So yep, that's my initial, I guess, like 300-ish round review of the Colt competition. Definitely recommend it.